Welcome to the Candidly Cozy podcast.
Grab your tea and let's get cozy.
Hi guys. Welcome back
to
the Candidly Cozy podcast.
I'm your host, Jolie.
And I'm Emily.
And here we talk about everything women related in a candid, comfortable fashion.
Yes. So grab your tea, grab your lemonade, a nice cold glass of water, get cozy. Make sure to follow us on Spotify.
Yes. Instagram.
Yes. TikTok.
Yes.
And you can also watch us on YouTube.
See our pretty faces on YouTube.
So yeah, get cozy and follow along. Yeah. Today we are going to be talking about something that I struggle so much with.
What are we talking about today?
Overthinking.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I struggle with it too, but not as much as her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronic overthinker over here.
I'll say, like, naturally I'm an overthinker. Like, I remember once we had that conversation and she mentioned that she's an overthinker. And I mentioned that I'm an overthinker too. And you're like, what? I don't believe you.
Yeah, no. It's like, you just seem like you just live life, like, so free. And, like, you do, like, your thing. Like, you're, like, frolicking through, like, a meadow. Like, I'm over here, like, what if there's bugs in the meadow? And what if we get something from the meadow? And what if we trip and we're walking in the meadow? I'm like, it's bad.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, overthinker, like, it plays with anxiety, like, along with anxiety too, which people don't believe it. Like, when I say, like, oh yeah, I have experienced anxiety too, people are like,
I know, because you just seem so, like, happy and, like, positive and, like, things just don't seem to bother you.
I guess they do. Well, over time I've learned how to deal with it, like how to, like, you know, like, not overthink or, like, not have anxiety, which we will have an episode on anxiety.
Yes, we have a lot to say about anxiety.
Yeah, and I was telling her that, you know, growing up as a child, I never experienced social anxiety.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, which I know a lot of people, I guess, like, judging by how social media is, cannot relate. And I'll be glad to do a episode where I talk about my experience.
We will.
Not having social anxiety, where you can pick my brain on that.
That's crazy. Yes, we will definitely talk about that.
Yeah, that would be a fun episode. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Follow us.
That's coming up soon.
Yes.
But today we're talking about overthinking. I feel like I've been an overthinker my entire life.
Me too. I started when I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, though. I don't know. What is it that makes someone, like, an overthinker? Like, what is that quality, like, that thing that maybe you're, like, lacking or you didn't get enough of that makes you overthink?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's anxiety. Like, I remember I saw somewhere that they're like, anxiety is like when you're worried about the future.
Yeah.
So I don't know why as a child you'd be worried about the future.
Yeah, like, why would I be worried about that?
Do you think it could be like maybe we inherited from our parents? Maybe we might have seen our parents have anxiety about the future, overthink things. And we pick that up.
From both my parents, I don't think either one is an overthinker. Well, maybe my dad's like, I am very much like my father.
Okay, in what way?
So, like, in everything, the way we look, the way we behave, like we're very similar. So maybe I did get some from him, but he's not, like, so extreme like me. Like, I'm a chronic overthinker. Like, any little thing, I overthink it. Like, when we were filming our TikTok videos, such an overthinker. When we're, like, planning for, like, the podcast and, like, episodes and what we're going to talk about, such an overthinker. Posting and, like, a schedule for, like, every single facet of my life, I overthink it.
Yeah, I think you're also a perfectionist. I think that plays
That's a bad thing.
With that
yes,
too.
I do feel like I try to be very perfect in everything I do, which I think is just really bad. It just destroys you within.
It does, because I used to be a perfectionist too, but I've learned, like, there's a balance with things. Like, I want, you know, quality in what I do, but at the same time, I cannot let that stop me from making advancements. Yeah. So
I think it's something I've worked on, trying not to be such a perfectionist. I think, you know, like, with this whole podcast, like, I'm very, like,
we're very different.
I want things to be not done a certain way, but I want them to be done so that we can, like, progress.
Yeah, and
like
for
get
me,
better.
I'm more like,
you're
post
more
today.
like
Let's
chill,
post now.
like, but it's nice. It's like a nice balance, because if we were both like that, I think we would.
You probably
this
would not
probably
post.
Would not be happening right now. So I definitely need you.
Yeah, I need you too because like you're very detail oriented. Like I'm also detail oriented too, but like she picks up on things that I probably miss or whatnot, and like sometimes it'll be like crucial details. So like I guess we do balance each other.
Well, that's me overthinking. Oh, the detail oriented thing, that's just me overthinking every single aspect of it.
Yeah, I guess like, you know, as long as you balance things out, it works. But you mentioned like you're figuring out how to like manage it. So how have you been doing?
I think I've just been like telling myself like there's literally nothing in life that's perfect, and there's always going to be some sort of like flaw or mistake or something. So like I just try to like walk myself off that cliff a little bit.
I like that, affirmations.
Yeah, so I just try to do that, and I think that with like overthinking, I think it also ties into me just being a very like quiet kind of person. Like everything's in my head.
I noticed the quietest people are the ones who think the most. Yeah. And you guys are the I noticed the quietest people tend to be like the most like judgmental. Where like you guys have the best comebacks, but you guys are just quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, we have to do an episode too on like, because like we talked about this where like the quietest people, they're also like, you guys are the best observers of people. Yes. And you guys read people so well.
Oh, yes.
I feel like I read people well too, but like quiet people read people well. Yeah. And like I feel like we should do an episode of our assumptions of each other. That'd be so fun.
It would be funny. Yeah. We would have like really funny things to say. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely are very observant. And I think that because I'm so in my head about everything and I overthink everything, that's why I like to be quiet and just observe what's happening around me and like observe people. And I also saw something like they were like, people are like overthinkers and they're like so in their head. When you try to like communicate your thoughts or whatever, like there's like a disconnect.
What do you mean?
So like I'm so in my head and like in my head like I've overthunk, is that even a word?
Is that what's happening right now?
Like I overthink like conversations with people. Like if I know I'm going to be going to the post office or I need to go somewhere, I need to speak to someone, like I'm playing that conversation in every possible scenario in my head. And then in the moment when I have to like actually speak, it's like it doesn't, not that it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't reflect what I had just rehearsed. You know what I'm trying to
say? Yeah.
There's like a disconnect because you're so in your head about things that you overthink it so much that when it comes to like the actual like language and like speaking it, it doesn't connect right. I saw somebody talk about it. I think he was on the CEO, the Diaries of a CEO or something like that.
Oh, I love that podcast.
He had like glasses on.
I haven't been following the most recent episodes, but send that to me. I really want to see it.
I'll send it to you. I'll link it. We'll link it.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about it. I know what you're talking about. There's a name for it. There's a phenomenon.
But that's definitely what happens with me. Yeah. For sure.
Like for me, I do the same thing too. I rehearse things in my head before talking to people, but it's for like a different reason. It's not because of anxiety. It's because
anxious. I'm so anxious.
Yeah, for me, like I'm really into law of attraction and manifestation. And I saw something that they say like, you know, you can like manifest like a conversation with a person. So you rehearse it like in your head, like how you want the conversation to be, and you know, just go with the flow. So that's what I do.
That's not how it works for me. I do that, but it doesn't work out like that for me.
Yeah, and for me, like, well, I'll tell you, like, for me, like, why, you know, I'm not much of an overthinker or like have much anxiety later on, but I want to like learn more about like your brain, like, you know, what is, like how, you know, like. I don't know, like I'm brain fogged right now. Yeah, so I want to know more about like what's in your brain. So like, how is the life of an overthinker, like from day to night? So like, how is it like? What do you overthink about? I know you say you overthink about talking to people. Yeah. Well, that's like social anxiety, but like, what are like small and big things that you overthink about throughout the day?
Literally everything. Like wake up in the morning, I'm overthinking like the commute and like how much time do I have? Like, should I be leaving early? Should I not be leaving at earlier than usual? And like I'm overthinking like, oh my god, is my car gonna be okay? Like am I gonna have like an issue with the car or something? What? And then I'm overthinking like, damn it, should I have had breakfast or something? Should I take something with me? And then I'm overthinking so like, great, everything? How am I gonna find a parking spot when I get to work? Like it's literally everything.
So you question everything.
I think there's something wrong with me.
It sounds exhausting.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
You know, like I get home and sometimes we meet like during the week after work. And, like, I try to, like, push through it, but I'm exhausted. Like, it's like those people, it's like people that, what is that called? Where like, your social battery runs out. Like, that's just me.
And you're an introvert, too.
at the end, I get to work and I'm like, please nobody talk to me. Please nobody talk to me. And as soon as I'm crossing the street to go into the building, people start talking to me.
Because you manifested that.
And then I'm like overthinking, like, oh my God, what did I just say? Did I just say like something? Did it come off wrong? Did I come out mean? Like everything.
I used to overthink that too.
It's everything.
Yeah. So like for me, like over time, like affirmations, like you said, like help me a lot with overthinking.
That's helping me with like the perfectionism thing that I have going on.
Yeah, and the perfectionism. So like for me, like I'll give you guys like a tip that I use for like social anxiety, like overthinking, like social anxiety is like, for me, like I'm like, as long as I hit like certain bases, I don't care about what happened next. Like for me, I have the mentality of like, you know, like clock in, clock out. Like for me, like if I have a conversation with someone, it doesn't matter who it is. Like if it's a friend, a coworker, or colleague, a boss. For me, like in my head, I'm like, as long as I'm respectful, I communicated what I like needed or wanted or whatnot. Like I'm respectful. I communicated what I needed or wanted, and there's a third thing. I shouldn't care about anything else that happens. So like, let's say a boss. Let's say I have a conversation with a boss about like a promotion. Let's say I want a promotion.
Yeah.
So I was like respectful. I made sure I communicated that well to my boss, and then, you know, I wasn't rude. I wasn't anything. I don't care about what happens next. You know, most people would like be really anxious about that. Like for me, like I'll be like, you know what? I did my job. I don't care. You know, like everything will handle itself. Like if he's mad at me, that's his problem. Wow. If he's upset, that's his problem because I did my job. That's
I actually like that though. I think I need to be more like that. I think I'm going to try that.
Yeah, like for me, like another thing I remind myself is like I can't control people's emotions or reactions towards me.
That's so, like that's something I'm working on.
So and also like sometimes like if someone's rude at me, like rude to me or whatnot, sometimes it's not me. Sometimes that person's already mad, you know, from home or whatever. Maybe their wife cursed them out, and by the time you approach them, you know, they're upset. Like that has happened to me. Like the other day, like me and my brother, we went to the gym, and one of the clerks there, he was so rude at us. Like literally the minute we walked towards him, he rolled his eyes. But in my head, I'm like, I did nothing to him. I was not rude. I was not disrespectful. So I don't care. I know it's not me. So yeah, that's my mindset with that.
That's a good. It's like you always have like that positive, like
that positive
flip it. Yeah. Like I don't think to do it like that, but you know what? I should do it like that because if I don't think that way, then it's very much like me overthinking the conversation the entire day and thinking like, oh, I should have said this or maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, I'm like that too. I used to be like that where like.
I'm going to try what you just said.
Back in the day, I used to be a yapper. I think I'm still a yapper.
I think you're still a yapper. I just don't think you're an overthinker anymore.
But nowadays, I'm like a bit different about like the things I yap about. So like, although like I do yap and I do overthink about the things I say or not. So over time, I've learned to like set boundaries for myself.
Yes.
So like, for example, like there's certain things I talk about and certain things I do not talk about. Because back in the day, you know, I used to like say certain things or like overshare. So I used to like overshare, and I would come home and feel so shitty about myself. Yeah, so awful. And, you know, I'm always journaling. So like I read somewhere that, you know, if you journal about like, here's are the things I'm going to say, here are the things I'm not going to share. And you read this every day before you're leaving your house, you know, that's basically setting boundaries for yourself. And over time when I practiced that, like it got better. So like now I don't.
No, I do like your what are they called?
My sake advice.
Journaling
prompts.
Yeah, I do. I like the things you've said. I like those two things that you've said. I think I definitely need to try to do those because I do think that looking at it that way and like changing the way the situation makes me feel or the way I'm overthinking the situation will like lead me to not overthink so much. And not care so much. Yeah. I like those two. I think I'm gonna try them.
And not care. Like when I was younger, I used to care a lot. Like one of the affirmations I used to tell myself. In high school was like, I don't care. I did not believe these affirmations at first, but over time, like, you know, I started believing it. Like at first, it was just like something I would just say in my head. I'm like, I don't care.
But no, yes, I do think that's another thing about like not caring anymore. I think I overthink because I care too much about what other people are gonna think. Which I think is just, I think we all know that that's just a bad way to live life. And caring about what other people are going to say or what other people are going to think about you. Just got to live your life. So
that's true.
I'm going to try to implement these little tactics you gave me. And I'm going to try to get better.
Yeah. And one thing I want to remind you and you guys as well is that, trust me, people don't care about you as much as you think they do.
Yeah. That's something I've really, those are the perfectionism thing, and like the not caring about what people are thinking is something I've tried to like work on. The overthinking thing is a bit different because, like I told you, it's like with everything in life, I overthink everything. I overthink my outfits, or overthink what I said to someone, or overthink what I said to the person at the grocery store. Like, I overthink every single thing, but I'm gonna try to just live life.
Yeah, how have you been, like, you said like you're working on your perfectionism. How have you been working on that?
Well, just accepting that, one, not everything's gonna be perfect. Two, I'm not like, for example, let's say I redid this room or something.
She did a good job.
I'm not a designer. I'm not an interior designer. So like maybe things are not going to be the way that I expected it to be. Or like with baking, like, you know, I've been getting a lot more into baking and like making cakes and stuff like that.
Her cookies are good, guys.
Yeah, her cookies are, I'm not gonna lie, they are kind of good. But with baking, like decorating and stuff like that, or even just making the cake itself, like I get very, very overwhelmed. I overthink everything and I want it to be perfect, to the point where like I'm literally there baking and I'm like bawling because I'm like, this is not how I wanted it to look. This is not how it's supposed to taste.
I've never seen you baking, but that's what goes behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
It was so bad. And my mom would just be like, you can't bake anymore. And I'm like, I'm just
trying to imagine how your parents are reacting to this.
Oh, she'd be like so not upset with me, but she'd just be like, so like, you need to stop. Like, it's you're not like a professional. You haven't been doing this for 20 plus years or whatever, which is true. Like that's something that I need to do when I'm like being very like perfectionist, is I need to remind myself like, maybe this isn't like my career or like my skill set, and it's okay, you know? So with like the baking now, I'm just more like, it is what it is. I'm not a pro, okay? If you wanted a cake that looked absolutely like perfect, go to a pro, go to a bakery, get a cake from there. I'm making it from scratch. I'm making it from my house. I'm making it with the tools I have and with my experience, my level of experience. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. I can't get past that. You would crash out.
Oh my god, you have no idea.
Picture her crashing out.
You have no idea. Oh my god. Yeah, it was so bad.
Like the most recent cake you baked, that's
no. The last ones I've done, I've been like chill. I've been like, okay.
So you're doing better.
I'm telling you, I've done some things to like change my mindset and like change the things that used to have like such control and hold over me. But the overthinking thing is still something that I'm working on. But yeah, I've grown a bit.
Yeah, she's doing so much
done better. Yeah. But yeah, overthinking.
Yeah, for me, I do overthink too. But like for me, like it's probably like kind of like you, but like I also like the way I overthink is like foresight. Like I kind of like would try to foreshadow things happening.
Oh yeah.
But like I would foreshadow like negative and positive. So it's not like only negative, but I take it like a step forward because I'm very like a how do you call it, like the foresight person? How do you call that? Forward thinking. Yeah, I'm very much a forward thinking person. So like let's say like I'm overthinking about, let's say I'm going to work and then I'm like, oh, the traffic. So I'm also thinking like how I'm gonna deal with the traffic. And then I'm thinking about like, oh, once I deal with the traffic, what I'm gonna do after that? Or like if the traffic's that bad, what I'm gonna do? If it's good, what I'm gonna do? If it's like not there at all, what I'm gonna do? So like I'm trying to think like 5 steps ahead. That's how I kind of like work. Even you see me kind of work like that on the podcast. So like yeah, I'm working on something, but I'm thinking like 5 steps ahead. I'm like, okay, yes, we need to post this episode on YouTube, but what about this? What about that? What about this? But like for me, I think I try to do it in a constructive way.
Yeah.
Where like for me, like let's say I can't control anything, I just let it be. I've learned that in college where they say like there's like internal locus of control versus external.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Locus of control. So like there's some things you can control and some things you can't. And I've learned to let it go, like things I can't control. And I also learned like no matter how bad things get, like there's always something you can control, like something small. Whether it's your reaction to certain things or feelings, how you
let that thing like overwhelm you or like consume how you let you. Yeah.
So that's how I think, like, you know, I always think like, okay, there's like people I cannot control.
Yeah, no.
But I can control myself. There's some situations I cannot control, but I can control how I handle the situation. And I'm such a forward thinking person too. Like if something bad happens to me, Like I'm thinking like, okay, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to like make it right? So with that, like I've also learned to like trust myself. That's why I'm like kind of like more like easygoing, because I'm like, no matter what happens, I'm capable to think myself out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thought process. So let's say I'm driving and I get into a car accident. I'm like, okay, the worst thing that could happen is like, let's say, knock on wood, like, you know, like something bad happened to me, like, or I die. But if I don't die, you know, what's the next thing I can do? Like, what, you know, I call the police or like take a picture or whatnot. So I try not to overthink certain things, because I'm like, you know what? If I can handle it, I can handle it. If I can't, then I can't. So that's my mindset with things.
I like your mindset on things.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a while.
I think it's like there's fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. I feel like you're very much a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of getting out of my fixed mindset. But when you said that you have the positive and negative, like forward thinking thing, all my things are negative. Yeah. That's why the overthinking consumes me so much. And it puts me in like a darker state of mind, because it's just all negative things. I'm overthinking, and I'm overthinking all the negative things that will come from it, or all the negative things, you know, like those things are the things that mess with your head so much, and it's the things that like drown me. So I need to start thinking more. You're giving me so much advice. Thank you for fixing me. Well, not fixing me, but giving me the tools so that I can better myself.
I guess I'm your free therapist.
Yes, thank you.
I guess I picked the wrong profession.
They're kind of expensive.
Again.
I guess I went to school for what you should have went to school for.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like life. I guess life is my teacher. So like for me, like over time I learn things. You know, gotten burned, getting out of it and whatnot. And I do see myself like, yeah, I definitely do have a growth mindset. And I always kind of been like that. Yeah, I know, like I'm kind of bragging and whatnot.
No, I don't think that's bragging. I think having a growth mindset it's a really good thing, and it's a quality that many people should have.
Yeah. I kind of had to, you know, like, well, I think for me, like, a lot of it came from like me being resourceful. Kind of like had to be resourceful, especially as a child, because I'm very creative. And I always have like big goals, big dreams, big everything. But I did not have access to a lot of these things that I want to achieve and whatnot. So I kind of had to like be creative to like find like other ways, other paths for me to like get to certain things that I want to get. So yeah, with that, like, you know, that's where, you know, I am who I am now. But of course, guys, I got burned a lot throughout the years. Yeah, like I learned from, I guess, my mistakes in the past. But we all do. This is life. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like I said, I used to be an overthinker, and then I had to realize that it's not serving me. And I had to do something about it. And over time, I had to like change my mindset and change the way I see things and how I approach things, how I do things, and find ways that works for me and what doesn't work for me. And also, like, you probably know this about me too. Like, I read a lot of self-help books. I don't read as much anymore because I'm a little overwhelmed.
She's a little overwhelmed. Her schedule's a little bit busy right now.
Yeah, it's been busy because, you know, doing this podcast, you know, and we're really enjoying this process, taking a lot of our time. Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun, and I've seen the overthinking side of you working on the podcast.
Yikes!
But no, it's working.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna balance each other out pretty well though. So I'm not.
And I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work on myself.
Yeah, we all have work to do on ourselves. You know, we're humans at the end of the day. Yeah. So don't be hard on yourself because you mentioned something like a lot of the times we're programmed to be like this. You know, especially women. Us women, we're programmed to be overthinkers because we do face a lot of things day-to-day basis. Yeah. You know, one thing I realized, a lot of my friends who have anxiety and who overthinks, all of them watch like crime shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do watch that. I mean, true crime. Yeah.
Well, I don't watch it all the time. I like every once in a while I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued and I'll watch it. But I did hear something about like, I don't know if it's you being an overthinker, but like you rewatch the same things over and over, like TV show or movie, and I think it has to do with like, you know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is an overthinker thing. It might be another it might go towards another like term, but I think it's like it brings you comfort knowing what's going to happen and knowing how something is going to end or knowing like how it's going to progress. So like you're not like overthinking it. So I'm not sure if it's for overthinking though.
So I guess like
it kind of goes.
People who are like that, they kind of don't like
maybe it's anxious, but anxiety is kind of like with overthinking a bit.
I kind of know what you're talking about. Is like some people they don't like unexpected things.
Yeah,
like there's a term for that. I can't remember. Yeah, like some people they want to control things in a way. They don't like change, and they don't like what's expected.
That's so. You see, that's me. I do not like change.
Yeah, I love
like big
like
change.
That. Yeah.
Like if we were just all of a sudden to be like, oh, we're moving, I'd be like, I'm sorry,
what? You don't know what to expect.
Or like at work, if I'm giving like a task or something, or like I'm told to do something different than what I normally do, I'd be like freaking out. But I definitely am someone that does not like change.
Yeah, so some people like change make them uncomfortable.
Yes, it makes me uncomfortable. But I also saw somewhere where somebody was like, that feeling of being uncomfortable is actually a good thing.
Really?
Because
please explain.
Because it has something to do with like, if you're uncomfortable, then you're like pushing yourself, but not in like, not uncomfortable where you're pushing yourself into like a dangerous situation type of thing.
Where you're like growing in a way.
Uncomfortable where you're pushing yourself to grow or to change something, to evolve. Because like, you know, one of my favorite quotes, what you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yeah.
So if you are uncomfortable with something, it could be career-wise, and you're like overthinking it, like, oh, should I really like be looking for another job, or should I really get that certification for something, or should I really go back to school to do this, or should I really apply for that promotion, whatever it may be, you're overthinking it. If you're not doing that, if you're not changing your current situation, you're just choosing to stay in that situation. So taking it back to the other conversation about not liking change is like, you're not liking the change because it makes you feel uncomfortable, and you're uncomfortable because you're overthinking all like the negative aspects of things. But if you're doing that, you're just going to stay in that state, stay in that position, stay in that situation. So you're not going to better yourself. You're not going to change something for the better, you know? I love how like these chats just make me reflect so much on how unstable I am.
No, but you're not.
It's interesting. It's all tied.
Emily thinks like she presents herself more negative than she is.
I feel like I do, but you probably know. It's just shocking to me because I feel like I'm a very negative person.
No, girl, I've been around negative people. You're not negative. Trust me.
Okay.
Like, you're anxious. I give you that.
Sure.
But negative, I will not say that.
Okay,
I've been around negative people. It's draining.
Yeah.
You're not draining.
Okay,
Trust me, you're good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For me too, like with change, like I used to kind of hate change, but like I had to embrace change because there were so many changes in my life.
There's some changes you can't like stop,
control or like stop and whatnot. Like my life has been a lot of changes, so I had to embrace change. And it also comes down to like the same thing for me. Like I have to trust myself. Like no matter what happens, I'll be okay. No matter what happens, you know, I can still think myself out of it. No matter what happens, I can still make the best of it. So like I kind of embrace change, like, you know, because life is so short.
Yes.
I like exploring. I like trying new things. I like, you know, seeing as much as I can, you know, whatever years I have on this planet. So whatever change happens, I'm going to make the best of it. That's how I see it.
I like it. I like your outlook on life, on your outlook on just like things in general.
I guess I'm really optimistic.
You really are. I feel like I'm a little bit pessimistic.
I wouldn't call you pessimistic.
For myself, for me, like for myself, I'm very pessimistic. But for like others, I feel like I'm more optimistic with like the advice or what I say to them, or like I think it's different when it's just me. When I'm thinking to myself, what I'm saying to myself.
So like internally, you're pessimistic.
Oh yeah. But I'm gonna work on it. I feel like overthinking is definitely something that you can change. You can evolve.
Yes. And I did.
You could be an overthinker, but instead of just looking at the negative side, like I'm constantly doing, I can start looking at like the positive side of things, like, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you bring this up, like something like, you know, like I said, I used to be an overthinker too. Yeah. Like something like I kind of used to do too. Even when I look at negative things, I look at the positive side of negative things too. There's always a silver lining in the negative things too. So let's say,
oh God,
at my old job, I got fired.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sad or whatever, but like I hated that job anyways. So I did not get fired. So don't I'll probably be like, I hated that job anyways.
Like, oh my God, Jolie, you got fired?
But like, I'll look at the positive and like, oh my gosh, I can get unemployment. Oh my gosh, I can finally find like, a good job. And here I was thinking like, you're going to be like, oh my God, now I can pursue the career that I actually want. Yes, that's another way to look at it too.
But no, unemployment, girl. But yeah. It's definitely the way you look at things. I definitely think that I can I can become someone that doesn't overthink. It's just, you got to put in the work. I can't just sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna stop overthinking. And
no, yeah, for me, like, yeah, for me, it took like years for me to get to where I am. So like, always like,
I'm gonna start now.
Yeah, start now. Like, and it's possible for you to change. It's possible for you to be better. Like, look at me. Like, like I said, I used to overthink things too. Like, if you, like, me and her were not that close in high school, but if we were really close, you would see like that side of me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because in high school I was very much that person who was like, overthinking.
Did you notice that side of me?
No, in high school, you were so quiet.
I know.
You were so
because
quiet.
I was in my brain like thinking about the conversations I was gonna have with people and being like, no, maybe I shouldn't have a conversation with this person.
Yeah, but I know in high school, like, I hit it well too, because in high school I was very bubbly.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I was very bubbly. I was very optimistic.
Yeah,
but like, I was hiding things like pretty well. Like, I realized that too. So like, I wasn't. Yeah, trust me, below the surface it was different.
Wow.
But now, like, it's different now. Like, now, like, below the surface is more, like, manageable.
Yeah, you're more, like, at peace internally.
Yeah, I'm more at peace. But one thing that helped me a lot, too, like, in high school when I used to overthink a lot, is meditation. And I swear to God, it made the biggest difference in me.
I have yet to do it. I really should, though. I feel like it would help me with so much.
Yeah, it did. Because I think I started meditating in high school. And I guess like overthinking was one of the reasons why I started. And yeah, I used to try to meditate every night, every day, and whatnot. And I swear to God, like, after a year, I noticed a difference. Like, after a year, I'm like, whoa, my mind's quieter now. I realized that. I'm like, whoa,
that's crazy.
So much quieter.
I would love that.
Yeah.
You're giving me everything I need to do.
Yeah, but like,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do all those. I'm gonna try to start doing all those things so that I can quiet my mind a bit.
Yeah. So like, and also don't be hard on yourself, because I noticed there's like, you know, scientifically, there's certain times where people do overthink more, and it's not your fault. You know, that's how it is naturally. Like, at night, like when it's later at night, like when your brain is tired, you know, you can't really trust your brain because you overthink more. You don't make the best decisions. So like, and when you're hard on yourself, it's not your fault. Like, we're women, when we're like about to get our periods, when we get our periods.
Oh yeah, during that time.
Yeah.
Everything is
our minds are all over the place, and you know, we feel bad, like we're hard on ourselves around that time, but we shouldn't be, because that's natural. You know, around these times, you know, I try to be like graceful on myself. I'm like, so let's say I'm like going through a negative loop in my head, I'm like, oh, you know, it's that time of the month, you know. I just name it for what it is. And you know, just like, don't really pay it that much attention. Yeah, it does help. Yeah, because I always also remind myself that any negative feelings or emotions that I feel is temporary.
Yes.
So I'm not afraid. Well, that's a different conversation for a different time. But I'm not afraid to face like negative emotions or anything like that, because I'm like, you know what? It's temporary. I've faced negative emotions before and I'm still alive. So I can face it again. So that's how I feel about certain things.
I like all the ways that you've like.
I feel like I'm a therapist.
I think you should get paid for this.
Maybe I should go back to school again. No.
You should.
No. Funny enough, like my friends, they joked the other day. They're like, "Oh, I can see you being like in law school, being a lawyer." I'm like, "Oh, no. That's like grad school." Yeah, law school. Isn't that like 3-4 years?
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I feel like it's a very long time.
Yeah, I already went through grad school, and you know, I think that's enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying never with school, but it's just for now.
Yeah, you're not in the place for it right now.
Yeah, now I'm in a different mental space.
I don't know. You gave me a lot of advice that I'm going to try to put into practice. I think being an overthinker is challenging. It's also something that many people have to experience. You're not alone in experiencing that. You're not the only overthinker in this world. It's okay. But I definitely think having a growth mindset, having a more positive outlook on things, knowing that anxiety plays a role into it, and knowing that like if you're just an anxious person, if you're someone that doesn't really like change and stuff like that can affect you, just knowing all those things, I think you definitely have to put into practice the things that will sort of like flip it for you and give you more of a positive, optimistic outlook on things. So I definitely feel like I will work on my overthinking. I will work on the things that make me feel uncomfortable.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I also forgot to mention something. Well, we also forgot to mention something like therapy.
Oh,
Therapy. Go seek like a professional.
I definitely need to seek a professional
advice.
Although I feel like I have my professional right here.
I did take some psychology classes in undergrad and grad school, so
maybe I will. I definitely, it's definitely something that I think it was last summer that I was like, I definitely need to find someone.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
So it's been a year.
I thought you found someone.
I've just overthought like everything with the whole situation, like finding a therapist and like opening up to someone and like exposing myself that way. I just like overthink it.
You know what?
So I'm gonna work on it this summer for sure. Like I'm going to find a therapist.
This actually brings up like the perfect conversation about overthinking and anxiety, like therapists. I remember last year we did have the conversation about finding a therapist and whatnot, and I thought you had one.
Did.
Yeah,
you did.
So like the funny thing is like with overthinking, like my approach to like finding like someone, it was very similar to her, where I'm like, okay, I need someone this, that, and the third and whatnot, and I'm like. After a while, I'm overwhelmed. Like finding someone, calling insurance for it. I'm like, whoa. I'm overthinking this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired because I do get overwhelmed easily, and that's one thing I've been working on, like not to overwhelm myself, recognize that, and how to deal with that. And I'm like, you know what? Let me make this simple for myself and easy for myself. And I'm like, you know what? I'm giving myself 3 criteria: Black woman therapist, no, Black woman and virtual. That's all.
Okay.
And guess what? I literally found someone within a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because like I was overthinking it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to overthink this. Let me make it simple for myself, make it easy for myself, and look at that. And it worked out.
And here I am still overthinking it. Yeah. I have a list. Like I literally have a list of a bunch of therapists. Even like the phone now, like you have apps that you can see like what insurance will cover you and whatever.
No, I was overthinking too,
and
because
I'm
like
still not doing it.
Because I had a list of like a bunch of people and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? Let me make it easy for myself. Black woman, virtual. So with that, I was able to narrow it down and whatnot. The first Black woman who was giving virtual consultations that I could find, and that was giving it like the earliest time possible, that's the person I picked and choose, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna do it. I'm gonna stop overthinking it.
I think give yourself 3 criteria.
Yeah. So like that will help because then I can just move forward. Like instead of not doing anything and staying in the same situation, being therapist-less, if that's even a word, I'm going to take a few steps of like narrowing down the field and like getting a feel for it. I'm gonna do it. I just need to. Overthinking, I know, is a big problem for me. So
I believe in you.
I'm going to change my perspective on things. I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to start making the changes that I need to make to bring more peace and calm to my mind. And just like by doing that, overall, my whole body will feel better
and more in peace. I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fear of failure.
That's like another episode we can get into.
Yeah, with the fear of failure, just don't overthink it. Like you can like live past
That's my constant daily struggle.
Or you like, let's say you probably like fear of like failing to finding like a good therapist. God forbid you find like a bad therapist. Girl, just move on.
I know, you're just like my mom.
Like just find someone else.
Yeah, it's not all or nothing.
It's not all or nothing.
I'm very much of like in that mindset of all or nothing. I'm like, remember, I'm like a fixed mindset. I'm trying to get out of that.
Girl, there's a gray area. There's black, white, gray. I always say like one of my quotes. We're gonna do a quote episode by the way.
Oh yes, because we have so many quotes that we're like we live by, or we're trying to live by.
Yeah, and one of mine is like the magic is always in the gray area.
That's nice.
Yeah, life is not always black or white, but there's gray area. Like for me, like with my mind, like sometimes I choose to see things black and white, and sometimes I choose to see things gray. But that's a different conversation for a different time. Yeah. I'll tell you guys what situations I do see things black or white. Like I'll tell you guys. So for some situations, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Okay. For some situations, where like I have to like really have like strong boundaries and strong standards, I set like I see things black and white. For me, like dating. For dating, I'm very black and white with dating, and I have to be black and white for dating. But for other things, like things like normal people would have anxiety about, I kind of have like a gray area. I'm like, you know what? Let's say that happens. I want to finesse my way out of it. Even if the most negative thing happens, there's always a way I could finesse, from it. So always try to find the silver lining.
Yeah. think that's the biggest advice we can give.
Yeah, and also failure is not a bad thing. Like, you learn from failure. Yeah. So let's say like you find like a terrible therapist. At least you're like, okay, I know these type of therapists are bad. Let me move on.
Or I bake like a terrible cake. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I know now next time I can't mix this before I do this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we're not perfect. We're not born to, like, oh, my grandma would always say that. She's like, we're not born knowing it all. She says it in Creole, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not born knowing it all. So life is about like trial and what is it? Failure? Trial and
error.
Yeah, trial and error. So, just live your life.
Yeah, just live life.
And one thing I forgot to mention that I do a lot is journaling, especially people who overthink. So try like writing everything down in a journal and like see it for yourself, like visualize it. Because a lot of times when it's in your head, you can't really organize your thoughts that well. Yes, but like if you see it pen to paper, like on paper, like it's easier for you to like see what it is, like organize it better.
And also like realize, like, is it really something you need to be overthinking?
Yeah.
Like, is it silly?
Yeah. Also, like, try putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So let's say you're overthinking about like something, like going on a date. Think of it as like your little sister comes up to you telling you she's overthinking about a date. Do you think it's silly and whatnot? For me, I think it's silly too. Like, be nervous on a date, but like, just try to put yourself in someone else's shoe.
For me, like, one thing that I overthink sometimes, which is, it's so dumb. Like, I look at it now and I'm like, it's just dumb. Is like what I'm gonna wear to like walk all over, and like what are people gonna see me wearing, and like if they're gonna like I'm like, why am I even thinking this? Like, I don't think that way anymore. But that was something that I used to overthink. Like picking out an outfit. Like I would waste like 10, 20 minutes trying to pick out an outfit, and he's like waiting for me to go on this walk.
Aww.
So yeah. I think definitely journaling and writing it down will help you like give you a different perspective on it, and you can realize like what it is that you're overthinking. Is it really like that serious to be overthinking about it?
And some therapists give you exercise on that.
Yeah. I'll find out when I find my therapist.
Give yourself 3 criteria.
I'm giving myself
right now. Let's
for sure one of those.
What are your 3 criteria right now? Let's do it right now.
I think definitely a woman.
Okay, yeah, like me. Yeah, a woman.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want someone that's like, I don't know if I want someone that's older because they're just more knowledgeable, or if I want somebody that's not younger than me, because that would be absolutely terrifying. But someone that's maybe like a little younger, because like they're fresh and they're kind of like, I feel like
you get in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like 40s.
Yeah, or like
30s.
Yeah. Because then I feel like they also have like a mindset of like they're more open-minded about things. And
okay, guys, we're making progress. Okay, woman. 30s to 40s. Okay, 3rd criteria.
I definitely think I want in person though.
Okay, see, that's all you have to
do. And then the other thing is it needs to be done. I'm gonna set myself like a time. Like I need to in June. Like it needs to be done. Like I need to find someone this month.
I believe in you. I
think I can do it. I just need to stop overthinking it. And it's literally their job to listen to you and like for you to open up about things. And it's okay. Yeah. I don't have to be so nervous about that. And about spilling all my unnecessary.
Is that why you haven't found someone yet?
Well, yeah, because I'm like, just like
overthinking that.
I feel bad. Like even like with you or like with my parents or like anyone, like family, like I feel bad like telling you guys what's going on in my head and like what I'm thinking or feeling, because then I feel like it's not positive things, like it's negative things. So I feel like it's going to like affect
so negative,
you.
But you're not.
No, but the things in my head, they are.
Okay, think of yourself as your little sister. Think your little sister's going through what you're going through. Would you want your little sister to approach you?
Yeah.
About these type of things? Would you feel bad because your little sister tells you something negative?
No. I feel like when you're gonna open up to someone about like those kind of things, you kind of got to get like an idea of like how they're doing mentally, because if I'm dumping all this on you and you're already like spiraling as well, like it's not going to be good for you.
So you're like afraid of
dumping. Afraid of like doing that. So with like a therapist, I'm like worried about doing that to them. I know, but like you know how like they said like a therapist has a therapist.
Yeah, like and
like I feel bad. I just feel bad because they're like that's like their whole day. Maybe it's not. Maybe their clients aren't all going through like heavy stuff, but like I still feel bad putting that on someone.
Okay.
And I'm overthinking it.
Emily, listen. A therapist has a therapist and a doctor has a doctor.
I know. So I'm just gonna I just need to I need to start changing my way of thinking and like overthinking and getting so in my head about things and just live life and just live. I need to find my therapist. I'm going to find my therapist, and I'm going to just have someone that I can open up to and just share, and like maybe they will give me the same advice you've given me, like journaling, looking at the positive things, being more optimistic. Maybe that will help me.
Yeah, there was another thing like that came to my mind. I keep forgetting. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. Also, like, you know, the same thing I did. So let's say you're overthinking about something and it's overwhelming you because so many things. Think smarter, not harder. There's ChatGPT. Like for me, like, yeah, I'm the queen of ChatGPT. So let's say I'm overthinking about a job application. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I qualified? I just have the ChatGPT like write my resume and call it a day. You know, or like for me, like the example, like I was overthinking finding a therapist and whatnot. I just made it easy for me. I'm like, give myself 3 criterias, call my insurance. I'm like, hey, where's the closest person? Like, where, like, find me the person that I could get the fastest, you know, appointment with. You know, I made it easy on myself instead of like putting all that burden on me. My insurance is there for a reason. Their phone number is there for a reason. You know, so I make it easy on me. Like, work smarter, not harder. So like, I give myself less steps to do things. So that helps.
I like
also. Yeah. So yeah, so I guess I can't think of any other advice or tips to give people.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna use the tips that you've given.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you know next episode how I'm doing. I'll tell you the last thing I overthought.
I'll try to remind you guys. I'll try to remind you too.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna be better.
Well, thank you, Emily, for being candid with us on Candidly Cozy podcast and being open and vulnerable with us about, you know, overthinking, your struggles and how you're handling that. And that's very admirable and very brave. So
thanks.
And you're working on yourself, so that's amazing.
Yes. I think it's one thing to just sit here and not complain about everything and not do anything about it. And it's another thing to like want to better myself and be better up here.
Yeah, and I always tell people that the first step is awareness. The fact that you're aware of it, you can like.
I'm aware of a lot of things. I'm aware of a lot of my issues.
I guess that's the problem. You're too aware.
I'm very aware of all the issues. It's just doing something so that those issues are not issues anymore.
Yes, and that's where we're gonna get to soon. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We were being very candid on this episode. Shared a lot.
Let us know what you overthink. What are some things that maybe you struggle with, anxiety-wise, overthinking?
Share your advice too. Advice and tips that you might have.
Share any tips that you have. I'm open to any tips.
Let me know if you're a formal, like overthinker such as me. You know, and let's continue the conversation.
Yes.
Like this episode, please. Yes. Rate us. Please rate us on Spotify.
Yes, rate us.
Give us 5
Please follow
stars,
us.
Of course.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yes. All Candidly Cozy podcasts.
Yeah. Candidly Cozy podcast.
And we'll see you with another episode very soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Love you guys.
Bye guys. Bye.